This work. Saving the non-science for last. Can everybody hear me? Okay. So I'm Shannon. I'm the advancement advisor at Yaya Foundation. I'm brand new. And basically what I'm trying to do is be part of this team and help us be sustainable, right? Because we want to be around to help you and new families that come around, either newly diagnosed or new faces that we find. You've seen this slide before. I think Ron has presented it before, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but obviously we're really, really committed in the next couple of years to help with research, right? To get to that next step. We want to provide support through these different methods. And that's my role at the end, right? Is we're gonna do a lot of different techniques to raise funds, right? And it doesn't happen in a vacuum. The thing about development and chasing money is I can't stress enough how important it is to have a really good understanding of the community that we serve. I've written hundreds of grants. I've done this a long time, and the more that we understand about the community, what you need, it just makes for a better story, and it makes it more compelling. And so we're going to work really hard on that. Okay. Great. So you guys know this. This is a really simplistic slide, but essentially I just want to tell you what I'm doing, right? Like if you caught me on a Monday, what am I thinking about? These are the different things that I'm thinking about. So grants, we're going to submit grants, corporate sponsorships, like finding companies and different folks that are interested in what we're doing, that share our commitment to this community. Major gifts, so that could be individuals, that could be lots of different people, and then third-party events. So that's when a family or a community member that's interested in helping, maybe they hold an event in their community. So we've got Kurt in the back. This is something he would kind of fall into this category. He's doing, we'll do a plug for 444H. He's doing a golf out. Stand up, my friend. Yes. If you don't know it, 7 years. Yeah. And Kurt is a really good friend to the Yaya Foundation and a co-founder. So it's just a nice way for him to get his community involved and to support him and his family, and also the greater good of this community. So I know that families get hit a lot for fill out this survey, do this registry. Here's another one. We'd love to hear more from you. And I get that that's exhausting. But I'm going to ask you if you might think about doing another one, because what we want to do at the Yaya Foundation is we don't want to create programs, initiatives, all of those words in a vacuum. I want to know from you what you need and what you're interested in. And that might be really different, if you have a teenager, if you're an adult, if you have a child, if you feel like you live somewhere that you don't have a lot of support, or maybe you live somewhere and you do have a ton of support and you want to help somebody else. So this is really important to kind of drive our next, we're almost at the end of 22, but thinking about 23 and what we can do to help you, because that's why we exist, right? Ron and Christina, since I've started, I'm so impressed with their commitment to the community and really listening to what you want. And so I'm going to ask Lindsay if you wouldn't mind dropping the link in the chat, and we'll email it out. It's a Google form. It isn't fancy. It's only 4 pages, 25 questions-ish. But some of the reasons, you'll see questions on there about the conference. What do you want to do for the conference? Do you want to have a conference? Do you want weekly calls? Do you want to have meetups? Do you want programs for kids? What can we do to help? And that will help us kind of target what we want to do, because right now it's like an ocean, right? We're all swimming in it. Like, we could do this, we could do that, we could do this, but I want to be really targeted in that, and then go after funding to help support that, right? So those are the things that we're thinking about. There are some questions about, like, where do you live? Like, do you live in a rural area? Do you live in a city? And the only reason that I'm asking that, to be transparent, is just to inform development work. Sometimes grants are available that might be like, oh, we only give in cities, or we only give on the western side of the country, or we only give in Argentina. So I want to know those things so I can go after them and be like, actually, yeah, we do have families there, or we do have need there. So that's why I'm asking it. It won't be shared with anyone. It's just existing for us to kind of drive what we're doing and find the right folks to help us do it. That's my presentation. Any questions? Ooh. Oh, do you have a question? I'm sorry. Do you have a question? Yes. Items. Yeah. So the question was, there was a silent auction last night. Could we help donate to that next year? And I think the answer is yes. I think people will absolutely take that. And then to take it a step further, so yes, for ULF, that would be amazing. And then also at Yaya Foundation, do we want to do one, right? Like, should we be doing one within the 4-H community? So I'll be talking to you. And yeah, so I think that there's like both ways, like we're trying to help the greater leukodystrophy community, and then also think about the 4-H community as well. But absolutely, if you have ideas, I'm open and I'd love to chat about it. Yes. Absolutely. So the question was, if you find something like a grant or an opportunity, can you send it to me? And please do, because I'm one person and I am like combing through these in the dark of the night. So please feel free to send anything that comes away. And maybe it won't work, but maybe it will. So it's worth it. Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
Okay, so I want to wrap us up. I'm going to do it quickly. Thank you, everyone, for sitting through a long morning of presentations. But I love the enthusiasm. And okay, first of all, I've never seen Valerie and Shannon present in person, right? And so I used to play basketball. Every once in a while, coach would do like a motivational speech and you'd feel ready to go. And when Valerie, you were presenting about from this to this to this, I was sort of like feeling really ready to go. And I hope you all were too. So I've never seen this slide before, but like Florian, we had breakfast here 3 years ago. If someone would have taken a brain scan of my brain during that breakfast, this is what it would have looked like. Just a jumble of stuff everywhere, not knowing where to focus, where to invest, where to give attention. Okay. And now fast forward 3 years and look at this. I'm like, Valerie, this is work that we should be really proud of. These are our focuses, and that is progress. That is progress. We are a small patient community. The idea 3 years ago was to prioritize and then invest where we in the few areas that were critically important and where we thought we could make a difference. And we're doing that now. And that's progress. And I see this and sort of think back to a few years ago. And I think forward to where we're going to be in 3 years. And it's very exciting. And so we can Yes, Marcy was there, Claudette was there. So it's thank you. It is amazing, and I want us all to leave this room thinking about where we're going to be in 1 year, in 2 years, and 3 years. And I hope that what you all take away from this meeting is that we can only do it together. And by together, I mean us as patients and families, us as researchers and clinicians working together. We can only do it together. So when we ask you to fill out surveys, I've filled out a lot of surveys. They're super annoying, but they're critically important, right? Like our researchers don't know what we are experiencing unless we tell them. We don't know what you all find as the most important things unless you tell us. So please do take the time to fill out Shannon's survey, our survey. If you haven't yet enrolled in our data collection program, like, look, participating in research is a highly personal decision. And I don't want to tell you, I can't tell you what to do, but consider doing it or do it. It's really important. And when we tell industry or researchers, hey, we have 65 people in our data collection program, it's less than a year old, we see eyebrows raised, right? And if we can get to 100 and to 200, those are numbers that are commercially viable for industry. And at the same time, we're de-risking therapies, we hope, such that pretty soon we'll be at a point where we'll need industry investment. And if we can show that A, we've de-risked stuff, and B, we have a patient community that is willing to fill out surveys and participate in research, and we know who they are and we know where they are, that's how we're going to make progress in our disease area. So I hope we all leave this room excited about the distance that we've traveled, excited about how far we're going to travel together in the next few years, and really committed to doing this together. So thank you, everyone.